So it's becoming easier and easier to market your clothing brand because everyone is using the exact same strategies and blending in, which is great for you because you're watching this video that will help you stand out and not be like them. So there are 3 key areas that you need in place to scale and absolutely crush the competition. Number 3, probably the most important and honestly the area where every single person inside of our program can get better at, and the ones who are executing and growing their brand to the next level are using effectively. So number 3 is messaging. The way that you communicate to your audience is crucial in your success, okay? So it is not about what is the coolest design or what's most trendy, because honestly, the big brands will crush you if you try to go about it that way. Abercrombie has way more money to go after the exact same thing, copy your brand, and then put it out, or Nike or whomever, right? They can copy you and come up with the exact same thing and then beat you there, right? So we can't beat them with their resources. We got to beat them in another way. So start by asking yourself why you created this brand. And honestly, if it was to only make money, then you are probably in the wrong place, because money is a motivation, right? It's great. I want you to make money. I think it is a good motivator, but it is where everyone else is too. Everybody's like, I want to use this clothing brand to make me money. Well, great. That's one, right? That's one area, one thing that you can do. They typically don't care about anything else but making the money. So I could offer them a successful clothing brand that they know nothing about and would take that over building something that aligns with their purpose and vision. In a short period of time, I would almost bet on this every single day, that brand would be out of business because the message and the passion does not matter. Okay, now at the end of the day, we are about dollars and cents, and you have to have profit, and I'm a very, I would say, goal-oriented person and very focused on the money. However, there has to be something else, and that is where the messaging comes in. These people are going wide, like everybody is going wide, not deep. So how the heck do you create messaging that resonates with your audience? You must be clear. Good messaging is clear on who they are serving. For example, you're probably watching this video right now because you own a clothing brand or work in the clothing brand space or something around that ecosystem. Maybe you just like our content or whatever else, and thank you for that. But most people who are watching this have something to do with apparel or accessories or something like that. Now get other people who create content for your audience. They already have that access to that audience. Use them to create content for you and use their messaging as well. I love UGC, or user-generated content influencers, because it gives a different perspective for a similar message to the same audience, and it's ways that you can get into the, I would say, the marketplace faster, because their audience that you are going to basically hack are going to give responses, they're going to give feedback, and those are all things that you can use to have a clearer message with your brand. Be able to tell your brand's story. If you get nothing from this video, I want you to record this. I want you to go record your about, your why. It doesn't matter. It could be a short form piece of content. You could pay somebody to do it really, really extensively and super well done, or you could use your iPhone and just really tell the story. I promise it will help you figure out who you are, what you're doing, where you're going, when you're going to do it, and the most importantly, why. And when you figure out the why, guess what? You'll be able to explain that because you're going to be more clear with your why. Now, the best way for you to do this, like I said, is to record it on an iPhone or something similar and then upload it to your about page. It's going to help you a lot. It's also going to help other people resonate with your brand. So I would get a piece of paper or write it out on your computer. It doesn't matter. I think a piece of paper is better because it just kind of like activates a different part of your brain, and start listing all the things that your brand is not what it is, all the things that it is not. Who are they not serving? All of that. Then you can push that to the side and it starts to give clarity about who you are serving. The next thing that I would be doing for messaging, outside of being clear and outside of telling your brand story and getting the clarity on that, you want to start doing what we call thought reversals. This will help you penetrate differently than everybody else in the marketplace, which are contradictory statements that are true for your audience, but may be common misconceptions. Don't worry, I'm gonna give you some examples here in a second. Other things to consider before we get into thought reversals. Where do these people who hang out online, right? Where is your audience at online? What kind of language do they already use? Language not in the sense of jargon, but it could be. Language in the sense of like, what words are they using already with their interactions online? Reviews on Amazon or similar actually are great places to borrow other people's words in your marketing and your copy. Do not copy verbatim, please. I should not have to say that. Okay, so let me share a couple of thought reversals for you. One of those is for a clothing boutique and one is for a streetwear brand. So a thought reversal for a clothing boutique would be to stop buying from fast fashion boutiques. So if you're a boutique that is focused on sustainability, on eco-friendly, on organic materials, you may say stop buying fast fashion. Or a better one could be stop buying the latest trends. then people are like, wait, why would I stop buying the latest trends? Your video would be about how you can buy staple pieces instead of following the latest trends, right? Classic always works. What staple products or what staple outfit can you put together that actually is going to be more helpful for the environment, right? So you just get them to stop and think for a little bit. Our goal is to just stop and catch attention. But that's when I'm pretty sure that it would get somebody to stop. It's like, stop buying the latest trends. Stop buying from fast fashion boutiques. For a streetwear brand, it would be stop buying name brand clothing, or stop buying Nike, or why I hate Adidas, or why whatever else it is, insert brand is horrible, whatever it is. I really don't like to bash other brands, so you probably don't do that. But like, you could go after the big, because it's like you versus them. It's always the big guy versus little guy, the David versus Goliath. Go after that and use that, lean into it. Otherwise, you'll get squashed, right? I mean, this is literally your slingshot, right? If you don't swing that thing, then Goliath's gonna smash you. So let's figure out a way that you can make this work for your brand. I think something that really pulls this all together, right? Your messaging that makes everything work is number two. Number two is the micro niche. There's two things I love about business, and more so if they are chosen correctly, how I believe brands will grow faster and more efficient than every other brand out there. And that is if they have high profit. You've got to have profit. Please tell me you got a good profit. Please have profit. So like a micro niche, a niche that is smaller than even a niche, which is already small, right? Money is made in the niches, or niche, however you want to call it, right? Let's walk through some examples at first, right? So Jordan, the brand. At first, right, it's Nike as a whole, but then Nike, right, how did they start? Nike started as a track shoe for track athletes, so super micro niche. And then Jordan, the shoe brand, right, started because there was a guy who was like, hey, we got a little bit of money, so we're gonna create some shoes. We're gonna take a risk on this guy who's playing basketball. So we created a micro niche of a shoe company for basketball shoes that they thought were not gonna do anything, right? So this Jordan brand is obviously worldwide now. It's doing billions upon billions of dollars per year, but it started in a very small niche of American basketball and then expanded. Now, that may be an example of like some larger brands, but let's also go into a smaller brand. So fast fashion, what I was just talking about. There's a brand we've been working with since 2015, Libby's Boutique. What do? They sell women's clothing. Do they buy them at the same markets that everybody else does? Absolutely. Do they have a unique approach to the way that they buy? Absolutely. But does that really make people buy from them? No. What does? Their views on spirituality, their views on religion, their views on politics, their views on sports, their views on life, getting people to buy into their story. All of that is why they buy from Libby's. They just happen to create a good story for people to buy into, and they just happen to have good clothes for women to feel empowered by. But their mission, their vision, their clarity, all of those things are what have actually made them into a super micro niche of people within a boutique world who serve, I would say, middle-aged Christian women in like rural communities. Like, they're number one in that space. You can be number one in that space, right? Figure out what your niche is, even if it's something like the Jordans of the world or the Libby's boutiques of the world. Another great example of this is Whole Strength. So Whole Strength is for people who go to the gym and want great athletic wear. Well, okay, we've done a whole video on that. You should definitely check it out, like the marketing. I'll link that up here. So go check that out. But Whole Strength is for people who want to be inspired to go to the gym with, again, a Christian faith. Like, they literally took the niche of like fitness, which is a little bit smaller than just selling all types of clothes. And then they went a little bit smaller and said, we're going to serve these types of people who go to the gym. And then we're going to go even smaller by focusing on Christians or people who are wanting to be motivated by inspirational quotes or something that is just intriguing from a higher spiritual value. And so they micro-niched there, and then they've created a huge business that is continuing to grow. They have a whole channel on Instagram that is literally just like inspirational type of quotes for the brand. And it has nothing to do with selling clothing. It's just like inspirational quotes. So what I'm telling you is, for your brand to stand out, for it to grow in 2024, 2025, 2026, 2027, 2030, doesn't matter. For you to grow your brand, you have to go in depth and then width, right? Depth, then width. And it's done through micro niche. It's very clear messaging. And then most importantly, a good way to think about this is if your site has 50 plus different styles of t-shirts, or you're a boutique that thinks you have to have everything that is a season, right? Everything that is in season, everything that is on trend for sale, you are wrong. Let's just call it out like that, right? You are wrong. There are so many brands that I look at, I'm like, yep, that's a dropshipping brand, or yep, they do not have that product, or yep, there's nothing in stock there, or they have 2 of each of these sizes, they'll never be able to run ads. All of those things are going to hurt your brand to be able to be successful because you've made the wrong assumption about your brand. Lean into the fact that you may be small, or lean into the fact that you may be bigger, but you can focus on a specific category. Lululemon started out super niche, selling a couple of different types of leggings. They did not start doing everything. They did not start doing men's running shorts. They did not start doing different types of like tops and pullovers and t-shirts. Like, they didn't do that. Do you want to make money or let other people on the internet think you make money? Think about that for a second. I would choose actually making money, but that's just me. Now, with amazing messaging and micro niche, that still doesn't mean anything if there is no one who knows who you are. So we have to drive real people to your site. But before we get into this last step here, if you are a clothing brand owner and really need more of a personalized approach, schedule a free 45-minute strategy session with us. We'll share with you the 5 key areas that you need to have in place for your brand to scale consistently and profitably. Click the link in the description down below. Pick a time that works for you. There are limited spots, so seriously, go do it right now. All right, so number 1 is traffic. This can be organic or paid. Honestly, it doesn't matter to me, right? I don't really care, but so many are caught up on which is better for your brand, but both have their pros and cons, right? A lot on this channel is a lot of paid, probably 70-80% paid and then 20% organic, but honestly, both of them are fine. My strategy is to do both though. Let me break it down for you exactly what I would do right now if I had to get traffic to the site to actually grow this brand. So the first thing I would do is I would go and I would find 3 competitors. I would find them on TikTok or Instagram Reels, preferably TikTok, because I think TikTok is really like the best place to see real creative ideas. I'd find 3 competitors. I'd make sure that they were a little bit bigger, and I would look at the content they're posting. I would make sure that they're posting consistent content online. Then I would go to their posts and I would look at all the ones and I would rank them on like 1 to 10 on like the size of the post. And I would go from the highest views to the lowest views of the top 10. Then I would go look at those 10 and I would look at every single video and say, okay, what can I mimic exactly from each one of these videos? I'm not talking about 10,000 views or 50,000 views. I'm going after the ones that have hundreds of thousands of views that went viral. And I want to know recency. So I'm going to go by total views and then I'm going to re-rank them by what is the most recent, right? So this one has 500,000 views, but this one has 700,000. 500,000 view video was put out 2 weeks ago versus this one was like 3 months ago. So the one that is most recent with the most amount of views, I would go it and I would literally mimic it exactly for my brand. Copy it exactly, okay? Or mimic or steal like an artist, however you would like. Then do that consistently throughout your TikTok. You're gonna create 3 of those per day of your own. That is why it's very, very important. You're gonna get better at this. Repetition matters. I think there's a lot of people who are telling this very similar story. It's one where these 2 people were asked in college, they were doing a study, or 2 groups rather. One of them was supposed to make the best pots in the world, and the other ones were supposed to make the most pots in the world. And at the end of the class, the end of the semester, they picked the ones that were going to be the quote unquote best. Well, the people who made the best, not only did they make less, they didn't sell hardly any at all. Whereas the ones over here, they sold more because they had more output, and they sold a higher quality because they put in more reps. That is what I want you to do here. 3 posts per day. Now, these are the places I would distribute this content. Do not worry about creating unique pieces of content for every single platform or formatting it correctly. Just create it first on like a TikTok or Instagram Reels and then distribute. The places I would put this content: YouTube Shorts, title it effectively, SEO friendly, search engine optimization if you're not familiar with that term, but basically dumb it down on the title. YouTube Short, TikTok, Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, those 4 places times 3 original pieces of content, that's 12 posts a day. That's 360 posts in 1 month. It's a heck of a lot of work, and I know that it is. However, if you do it, guess what? You're going to get traffic to your site. You have to get traffic to your site. And guess what? If you have great messaging throughout your content, if you focus on a micro niche and then you get traffic, you're going to make money. Problem is, nobody really wants to work hard. I know you do because you're watching this video. Now it's about taking that action, okay? So after you distribute that content and you create that content, you do the next step, which is the most important part here. As you're creating all of these pieces of content. You're gonna find the platforms that have the most distribution, and you're gonna find the pieces of content that have the largest amount of views. You're gonna take the top 10% of those winners every single week, and then you're gonna put them into a campaign, and then you're gonna run ads behind it. You're gonna put dollars behind it. I don't care if it's $30 a day, $50 a day, $100 a day, it doesn't matter. You've already proven that they work organically. There is no difference between an organic post and a paid post, none at all, except that a paid post, you spend money behind. So if it does well organically, I almost can guarantee you it will do well paid. So you've worked this muscle like crazy, you're pumping out content, you're getting a lot of views, you're getting traffic to the site, you're making sales. Now what do we want to do? We want to scale that. Put gasoline on the fire. Take your winning ads, put them into an actual campaign. If you want to know exactly how to take those winning ads, put them into a campaign, scale your clothing brand with Facebook ads, go watch this video right here next. Okay, y'all have a great rest of your day. I will see you next time. Go focus on a micro niche, focus on that super small community that you're gonna serve really, really well. And PS, make sure you subscribe. We put out new content for you every single week. All right, we'll see y'all.